Chichi, Evie, good morning to you both. I think today is September 17th. Or actually, no, I think it's 18th. Yeah. It's Thursday, and I am driving to work. I was at a stoplight. Thought I'd go ahead and start the video while I'm driving. Windows are down, and the car has a leak in it. So there's been spots getting wet and like mold growing in the car. So I always have the windows down, and been trying to find a weekend to try to fix that, or really kind of understand what a good solution for that would be. It's pretty pricey to fix, the leak, and it's to get it like cleaned and detailed inside for something like that, I imagine would be pretty pricey too. But then, what do we want out of this car? And we have to have kind of a vision of, looking ahead. And, where we look at our family, where we look at, where we're going to be in the next 5 years, this car doesn't really have a place in that future. So if it was like a dire threat to health or something, then yeah, maybe it'd be worthwhile to, get something fixed with it. But, just it doesn't seem to be affecting me. I, just in case like the mold was doing something, I didn't want mom or you kids riding in this car. So, we've thought it through pretty well, and, this car is still serving its purpose. I bring that up and, just to say that, something I'm learning is to have, vision with your life. I've spent a good bit of my life kind of going with the flow. It wasn't until I was really in my kind of mid-20s, later 20s that, I had the thought to become a chiropractor. And I saw that through. And I'm very glad that I did. There's some growth, some, harsh realities you learn out in the field and practicing right away. But if you grind through that, you really do find the joys and the benefits of the skill and practice. But having said that, as much as you can flesh out vision, and just, instead of thinking about like what's it going to take to get there, really honing in and thinking about what does that look like? What do you look like, several years down the road would be an example. That doesn't have to be a timeline thing, like, so Chichi, you have, or at least right now, the way that you're kind of built, you're very stocky, strong, and just, got a great build for, like, being a swimmer. Not saying you don't have to be a swimmer if you don't want to, but for this example, what kind of swimmer do you see yourself being? Well, it could be like, well, I want to be an Olympic swimmer. I want to do the freestyle faster than any woman on the planet. Okay, do you really like how that sounds? Do you really like how that looks in your mind? If you do, that's great. Now, what's it going to take to get there? You have to think about different checkpoints along the way. You have to think about, okay, well, I should probably learn to swim first. That's a great thing. All right, now I should probably learn how to do the freestyle. That's a good thing too. All right, now how do I fine-tune the ability to do the freestyle? Okay, good. How do I push for a quicker time? Things like that, along the way are going to be pinnacle to reaching that goal of being an Olympic freestyle swimmer. Baby Evie, you are oftentimes, you're still just a baby. I'm still trying to kind of figure you out, but, you're very kind of just sweet and, just soft spirit. You don't say, you are just very calm in just a lot of high, intensity situations. Maybe you'd make like a good missionary, let's say, and maybe you like, man, there are a lot of anxious people out there. I would like to help. I would like to give my life to help people that are anxious find peace. Okay, well, how do you do that? Right, you gotta understand, what anxiousness is. Maybe for a start, just living in our house, you probably see a lot of anxiousness. You got an idea of what that is, but then it's just like, okay, what contributes to that? What is the psychology behind that? What influences that? And there's a lot of depth and understanding that is going to go with what feeds anxiousness. It's not just the mental. It's not just the social. What's the chemical side to it? Going to be disorders that feed anxiousness. Physical things, chemical things, certainly. History. One's history can weigh into it. All that to say is that it's good to have vision. It's good to try to see something that hasn't happened yet and be very taken with it. And then if you really like the way that looks, let that soak in a little bit. And if that's something that stays like a steady thought, or just something steady that you enjoy thinking about, I say, oh man, go for it. Start making checkpoints. Start, trying to pursue that thing. Try to bring it to God. Pray about it. Go all out. Don't be afraid of failure. Even if you have a vision and like just a big door closes, God forbid TT like lose a leg. I mean, that's going to affect your swimming. God forbid, Evelyn, turns out you're very anxious yourself and have a tough time controlling it, and maybe not the best coach for dealing with anxiousness. I don't know. All that to say is, don't be afraid to pursue it. Life is very short and limited, and it is worth throwing your lot in on something. We do better to do. We don't want to wait around and for just things to happen to us. And that's kind of how it works out, with like, kind of business life, for example. If you want to open up your own business and do things the way that you want, you have a vision for that, that's you're your boss, and that's what you do. Nothing wrong with that. If you don't, like for me, I was very hesitant about opening a practice. So what happened? Well, I ended up working for somebody. That's not a bad thing either. You can learn a lot working for other people, and that can help, give vision too. But, ultimately, in communal living, if, you don't speak up for yourself, someone ends up speaking up for you, or you end up working for someone else or doing something for someone else. And again, other people can have visions that align with yours, and you can work with them, and that's a fine thing. That's a good thing too. I'd still encourage you to try to just try to find a vision that is something that you're very passionate about, want to do. Not it can line with other people's. Other people can influence it. It can be completely original on your own. But just find something you're passionate about and just go for it. All right. I love you so much. Sorry for the long video. Maybe a quick little thing. I was looking at both of you the other day, and I mean, just something just was very taking about just looking at your eyes, and just Evelyn, I looked at you. I mean, I just could tell that. I mean, I think you're going to be a wonderful woman for God. Esther, I was looking at you, and I just saw just this powerful, like, just independence about you. Like you were just starting to do life on your own kind of thing. I mean, you're not yet, but there's just I just kind of just felt that spirit about you, like being willing to take on life and responsibilities, and that's wonderful. It makes me very proud as a father of both of you. I love you both.